everyone, welcome to Womanlyyy. This is your host Shala. And as you know, in this channel we speak about women, women's issues, men's issues related to women, and a lot of things about just life. Sometimes we have fun also, and sometimes we speak about very serious issues. So one of the serious issues that I spoke about this year a lot was depression, mental health, other mental health issues, self-harm specifically, which I spoke on the radio about. And there is something that was totally exciting that happened recently. In my upcoming book, Third World Woman, this one, I have a chapter that is called Hush Hush Things We Don't Talk About. So in this chapter, I specifically shared my experiences with mental health, depression, self-harm, and all those various things that I will leave you to find out. But because of my involvement and my participation and my knowledge in this area, recently I was invited to speak and share my experience with a lot of other people at the High Commission of India in London. And let me tell you, my experience was amazing. I met so many great people. I will put a specific video of the talk and the pictures and everything as soon as I have them. It was a great event. We got to speak a lot about the different issues, the hush-hush things that people generally don't talk about because mental health has such a strong stigma attached to it. But one thing that I noticed is that despite having so many experts there, my God, there were things that we got totally wrong about mental health. I mean, come on, it is this century and we still stigmatize and have these sexist issues attached to mental health when it comes to women's areas and women's experiences with mental health. In this video, 7 things that can go horribly wrong when it comes to mental health issues, and most people get these 7 things totally wrong about mental health. 1. Women are a bundle of emotions. Wrong. Have you ever seen an India-Pakistan match? Like literally a cricket match? Men are as emotional as women, but it is the social conditioning of how to express your emotion that differs between men and women. Men are taught how to express their emotions in anger and violence, while women are conditioned to speak about their emotions in a different way, which may be just talking, expressing, crying, a lot of that. So it's not that the emotions men and women feel are different or men don't have emotions. Of course they do have emotions. If they didn't, why would men's rates of suicides be so unbelievably high? Of course men have emotions and they do feel emotions. The only difference between men and women having emotions is that men express it differently, and that's because of the gender stereotyping that we do from birth. When a little boy comes to us crying, we say, oh, you're a boy, man up, boys don't cry. But when girls cry, we, oh, little girl, cute girl, don't cry, baby, this and that. We treat them differently. Hence this myth that men and women have different emotions, or women are a bundle of emotions while men are all tough. No. Have you ever heard the rape defense where people say that, oh, a woman was dressed in such and such manner, she was sexy, and the man could not control himself, so he raped her, so it's not his fault? I mean, this is literally a man enacting his emotions, and you are saying that men don't have emotions? Okay, myth number 2. Just take a walk and it will all go away. Okay, now there is a distinction, a very stark different distinction between an illness, a mental illness, and someone just feeling sad. So if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling blue about something, it would maybe last an hour, 2 day, or 4. That's it. If you have a depression, a chronic mental illness, it would last more than 2 to 3 weeks. So it's not that mental illness or depression is not diagnosable. Of course it's diagnosable, but there's a difference, and people often think that if they give you the advice to just take a walk, it will go away. It doesn't. If you're feeling sad or low for just some reason, you can take a walk and it will go away. But if you have a chronic disorder, a serious mental illness, it won't go away by taking a walk. Trust me on that. And imagine if you told me you had a flu, or if you had your leg broken and I told you, you know what, take a walk, it'll go away. You would really kick me in the crotch, because that doesn't happen. Myth number 3. Talk to your mom. Moms know best. No. If all the moms in the world were experts, then I don't think in this world we would need a pediatrician ever. What is true is that moms might have the best interest in their heart for you. That's true. I don't deny that. But moms are not expert in mental health or mental illness. In fact, because your mom care about you so much, it makes it so much harder to have a painful conversation with them, because then you don't just worry about yourself, you worry about their well-being. You think that you will transfer your pain to them, and somehow now you'll be even more sad, not just because of your own problem, but because you made your mom sad. So that might even escalate a lot. And it'll be even worse if you talk to her and she judged you. For example, there are several rape victims in India who get judged by their own families, who get turned away, who are blamed, who are sometimes even abandoned, or at worst burnt or killed because of something that happened to them. So no, it's not always best to tell your mom, and you think that talking to your mom would let it all go away. No, of course not. Your mom is not an expert. This is my favorite one. Laugh sessions and the pressure to be happy. The general trend that, God forbid, someone mentions being sad ever. And there is so much pressure to put up that happy face all the time. You know what? No normal human wants to giggle all the time. No one wants to do that. In fact, it is irritating. We have to stop being scared of sadness so much. It's okay to be sad sometimes. And when you feel that way, you don't need people to force you to feel happy all the time. You just need someone to hold your hand, sit with you in the dark, and just be with you in that moment. Of course, until you feel your normal self again. There's nothing wrong with being happy. But in this day and age of Facebook, there is so much pressure, this forced fake happiness that you feel like everyone is having the time of their lives, partying, having fun. Of course, no one is going to put this sad shit on Facebook. No one's gonna say, oh, my husband sucks, or my kids are making me crazy. Of course, they're not gonna say that. So you feel like everyone's having the time of their life and you are the only one with the sucky life. And then you feel forced to fake that, oh, it's not just you all, I'm also having the time of my life. And that makes you a lot more miserable than you actually are. So be happy or be sad, but be your true self. Don't think that you have to force fake happiness just because you are in a circle and you have to be. If people are not okay with you being sad and being low for a while, then I don't think they are your true friends. Number 5. There is no need for a women's mental health space. Let it all be gender neutral. Why not just mental health space? No, it can be. See, when it comes to discussing mental health issues, there's not just a need for a specific women's mental health space, but also for LGBT people, for straight people. I don't think there should be one for straight people, but for LGBT specifically, there should be. And let me tell you why. This is because the issues that are faced by one gender may not be specifically faced by the other gender. First of all, history is evidence that in all the conferences, seminars, events in all over the world, there is a heavy male presence, and the representation of women is pretty low. So as it is, women's issues don't get to have space or voice of their own. And when women do reach such high executive positions, their voices are undermined or silenced straight away. This shows that for women's voices to be heard, we need women-specific spaces where women feel safe and confident to speak about. Secondly, the pressures of motherhood or those faced by single women to get married are really high and are not faced by men at all. Whether it is domestic abuse or fending off perverts or just the pressure to get married, there's a lot of stuff to deal with. And these are not related to men. So men can be allies with women on these issues, but they are not the direct sufferers of these issues to have an experience to share with. So they don't need a specific platform to talk about these issues because they are not the direct recipients of these problems. Women are. Number 6. Nothing will end depression unless the problem that created it is solved. This is not true. A lot of times you may feel sad or low without knowing the reason for it. And there are many people who would actually say that in their family someone is just sad and they don't know what's the problem, why are they feeling that way. You see, there's a lot going on in women's bodies with relation to hormones, and they work in different ways. Sometimes you can feel sad or lonely or awful. You may want to punch someone in the face, just feeling irritated, and you may not even know exactly why you're feeling that way. For example, during my PMS days, I would cry watching an episode of something that I've seen a million times. And when I'm not feeling that way, no matter how sad or awful I see something, I may not even cry. So it all depends upon how you're feeling that time, and when you're feeling that time, it's not always necessary that you know what is creating the problem. Sometimes you just have to get on with it because, hey, it's human body. Your hormones vary, and sometimes you just feel not your usual bouncy self due to the chemical changes in your body, and that's okay. But if you feel that way for more than 2 weeks, then you must seek medical attention and stop forcing yourself to figure out the solutions to all your life's problems at once. Because guess what? There will never be a time in your life when there won't be any problem. You just have to learn how to deal with it. Next one, pray and be pious, and it will all be alright. Wrong. If your leg broke or your teeth fall out, and I tell you, pray and it will all be alright, how would you feel? See, if your jawline came off and your leg was broken, no matter how much you pray, that's not gonna do anything, because unless you see a doctor, you wouldn't find an end to your pain. There's an interesting thing in my faith about praying, which says that unless you tie your camel, don't pray, which is like saying first you tie your camel and then pray to God to keep it safe, which means first you put in the hard work, then ask God to put in his hard work and ask him to keep you safe or your things safe. So same goes with mental health and depression. If you're feeling sad or if you are feeling awful about something and you know for sure that it's been long enough and you have a mental health problem, go see an expert, talk to a therapist, and then pray to God that whatever therapy they are prescribing or medication they are prescribing, it works. Unless you do that, don't think that praying will help you a lot. Maybe temporarily for a few seconds, but it'll come back like this. So the last thing is, people say that there are not enough solutions to mental health problems. In the at the High Commission of India in London conference also, we spoke a lot about the problems, the different things people face, but we didn't specifically, people said actually we did speak about solutions but not a lot. So people say that okay, we know what the problems are, but how do we find a solution to them? Here is a specific video that I made which is about the solutions, and you can check it out here. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found anything interesting at all. Please share it and raise awareness about mental health issues with your friends and your family. You never know, someone might really need this. And I'll catch you in the next one. Till then,